Okay, everybody. Well, good morning. Let's go ahead and I just fix one quick thing. My mother, God love her, keeps having mountain lions show up in her backyard, and taking pictures of them seems to be a fun idea. I'm not exactly on the same page with her, but anyway, she just sent me one, so just swiping that up. Probably too much information. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. Let's find a comfortable spot, your choice, either on the back body or seated, whichever you prefer this morning. And let's go ahead. I'm going to go to the back body because it's just a little bit more comfortable. And I'm going to use a blanket just to allow for a little bit of extra traction on the neck, basically, a little more support. And I'm also going to put a pillow underneath my legs. That's always a nice option to have a pillow handy. So let's just begin by opening up the palms to the sky and closing the eyes. And begin to just notice the body as it arrives on the mat this morning. Just begin to notice how the body arrives. Any tension, anything at all, just begin to deepen the breath and send it there. And as you send the breath there, just envision the breath wrapping around whatever it is that is causing the tension in the body. And as you exhale, just envision it leaving the body. Envision it floating up and away and letting go. Just several breaths, just deepening. See if you can lengthen the exhalation. Really just let it go. And then let's begin to take the attention and shift it to the mind. Let's just notice where the mind is this morning. Notice what is on the mind. So Peter had mentioned letting go of judgment, and it's something that kind of goes along with mindfulness as well. So when we are in the present and when we are being truly mindful of the moment, we're able to stop and pause and think about things before we say or before we pass judgment. That being said, too, for recognizing when somebody else is not being mindful and understanding, coming from a place of understanding, but just begin to notice where the mind is and just really cultivate that sense of mindfulness. And when I say mindfulness, just meaning when you're in the moment, truly being there. So if you are, eating an orange, rather than just eating it and realizing that the whole thing is gone suddenly, just truly enjoying every single bite, truly being there, feeling it, tasting it. And obviously the mind is going to wander, and we notice so many things and so much chaos happens. But if we can just keep reminding ourselves to come back to that present moment and just to breathe, just take a full breath in and just let go and just be here now, we can truly be much more at peace and walk a more peaceful life. So just noticing where the mind is, just being where the mind is, sending that breath there, just like we did with the tension in the body, and letting go. There's a quote my mother used to quote to me a lot. It was, I believe it's the Dalai Lama. I can't believe my mind is losing this now, but holding on to anger is like holding on to a hot coal that you intend to throw at somebody. You're the one that ends up being burned. So just letting go. Easier said than done, but just being mindful and breathing and vowing to let go. Just take about 5 breaths here. Maybe envision a word or a phrase, just bringing something into the mind that brings peace. And bring that word or phrase into the mind, into the body. Let it move through the body. Soften as you exhale. If you find the mind wandering through practice or just through the day, you can come back to that word. Let that be a mantra for you. And let's begin to find some movement into the fingers, find some movement into the toes and into the wrists. Roll them, reach, 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 reach. Oh, nice, big stretch. Oh, feels good. Just kind of bring the arms down by the sides of the body and just blink the eyes open. Bring the feet onto the earth, soles of the feet. Just bend the knees, walk them about, hips width distance apart or even further. Lift up through the hips and lengthen, place the sacrum down, back on the mat, just nice and long through the spine. Feel the neck, make sure the neck is nice and long, and then just a nice gentle back and forth with the knees. Nice, gentle back and forth with the knees. If it feels good to just linger on one side, just let the knees drop over to one side and pause. And same thing, opposite side. And then pull the knees in towards the body. Just give yourself a nice big hug, little rock back and forth on the low back. Reach the feet up to the sky. Bring the hands just back behind the feet, and then just gently pedal the feet. Keep breathing. Remember to breathe. I'm going to open up the legs just a little bit and roll those feet. Roll the ankles. Use the hands as support here. Just open them up as much as feels okay. And then guide the feet back together, and let's bend the knees and take a happy baby pose. Nice happy baby pose. Let the shoulders be nice and heavy. Nice heavy shoulders. Then guide those feet back together. Bend the knees, pull them in towards the chest again. Let's open up the arms out to a T and let the knees fall over towards the right. And then begin to make some fists or stretch the fingers out. Nice rolling with the wrists. Maybe gaze out over the left. Just take a full breath right here. Wring out any tension, anything that you're holding on to. Exhale, just let it go. And then inhale, let's bring the knees up through center and over towards the left. Let the knees fall over towards the left. Open up those arms still out to a T. Let the gaze come out over the right. Just breathe. Just breathe. Wringing everything out, anything that we're holding on to. Maybe make a couple of fists again. Oh, roll the wrists, whatever feels good. And then inhale, we'll bring the knees up through center. Just kind of rock it back and forth again. Massage that low back. And lift the feet up and grasp the back of the legs. And your choice, either rock and roll, maybe rock a few times, kind of massage that back a little bit as long as your spine is in good shape and it feels okay. Or roll over to the side body and make your way up to a seated position. I'm going to use a blanket underneath the bum this morning. Oh, nice. Sitting up high a little bit. Let the knees make their way a little closer to the earth with the gravity. Hi, everybody. So let's just sit up nice and tall. Just envision a string lifting the crown of the head up, really lengthening, but drop those shoulders down. Just take a nice big breath. Nice big breath. Exhale, let it go. Just gaze out over towards the right to begin with. Nice big gaze to the right. Keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Go ahead and bring the gaze back through center and over to the left. And then back through center. Let's bring the arms out over towards the right. So just take that left hand and kind of place it on the right wrist. And just really push the arms kind of back. And then you can gaze just right here again, out over towards the right. Nice big stretch there. And you can take the gaze and bring it out over towards the left. And just release. Let's roll the shoulders just a couple times back. Rolling them forward. It's the same thing. Let's just drop the left arm down, reach the right arm over, just kind of push onto that wrist, pull the shoulders over, kind of open up through the back body. Take the gaze, kind of gaze down towards that mat. And then bring the gaze forward, over towards the right. Just release it. And again, roll the shoulders. So pull the shoulders in towards one another, the shoulder blades in towards one another. Roll it open and back. A few times. Just drop the shoulders down. And let's drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Let the left shoulder get nice and heavy. Drop that left hand down onto the mat, really nice and heavy, and walk the fingers back. Walk the fingers back to the back of the mat, the left fingers. Just bring the hand back up onto the thigh and roll that neck forward. Roll it all forward. Let's just bring it over to the left side, left ear over towards the left shoulder. Drop that right hand down, little gecko fingers, just creep towards the back of the mat. Really lengthen through this tendon here in the neck. Nice and long. And then hand back onto the thigh and roll that chin a few times. Just nice big circles with the neck. And maybe take it all the way around. all the way around. Change direction. Change that direction. Sit up nice and tall. Sit up nice and tall. And let's reach the right leg forward. So just keep this left foot in. Reach the right leg forward. Take a nice lift through the belly. So let's notice if we're rounding here. We're really going to want to pull the shoulders back and just take a nice tilt over that right leg. So straight with the back. So notice if we're bending, because if we're doing this, we're really not getting the stretch through the back of the leg. So the whole idea is to really stretch through the calf and hamstring here, rather than rounding the low back. So just get a nice hamstring stretch. Really want to work on lengthening those today a little bit. Nice hamstring stretch. And then bring it back on up. Let's change sides. Let's reach out with that left leg. Just bring the right leg in. Same thing, lift and lengthen through the back body. Nice lift. Just kind of gaze out forward over that foot. That's going to help get the hamstring and calf engaged versus rounding. So just not about how deep we can go on this one, but just getting a nice stretch through the hamstring. And then bring it on up, and let's just reach both legs forward. Both legs forward, sit up nice and tall, kind of pull any junk out of the trunk there. There we go. Sit on the tailbone and lift through the belly, lift through the heart, and exhale, take a forward fold. Gaze out over the toes again. So long through the hamstrings here, really nice and long. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then round it on up, and let's just bring the knees onto the earth. You can put a blanket underneath the knees if that feels better for you. In fact, I am going to do that this morning. Give the knees a little bit of cushion. And let's make our way, so much better, through some cat-cows. So just lift the tailbone, lift the gaze, breathe it in, exhale, round. Lengthen, breathe it in. Exhale, round. One more time. Nice big breath. Lift, breathe it in. Exhale, round it out and round into that nice cat, and just sink on back into your child's pose. Sink it back into child's pose. Let the head go. Let yourself go. And then inhale, let's make our way back to table. I'm gonna face you guys here. So from our table pose, we're gonna step out with the right foot. So let the toes face forward. See if you can kind of bring the foot though onto the earth flat. And then just take a moment just right here. And if it feels okay, bring the elbows down onto the earth. Maybe walk out a little bit more with that foot. But you want to get a nice stretch again through the inside of the leg here. Nice stretch. So lengthening out through these hamstrings, any low back issues that we might have, this is a really good place to start. Correct me if I'm wrong, Catherine, but I think lengthening through a lot of tight hamstrings can lead to some other issues throughout the body. So walking up with the hands, rolling on up, sitting up nice and tall, so still extended out with that leg. We're gonna make our way into gate pose. So lift up, with that left hand. Nice side body stretch through the left hand side. And bring that on down. Bring the hand on down. Reach up. Reach up with the right. Let's go ahead and bring it back on up. I'm gonna bring it back on up. We're gonna bring the knee back in. This is not quite as graceful as other ways of doing it, but bring the knee back in and then just extend forward with that right foot. So you just take a moment, kind of come to a little kneeling pose and bring it forward. There we go. Kind of a little different way of getting into this posture this morning. And then exhale, taking a fold forward again. So just letting go. Again, just like we did with that forward fold, notice if you're rounding through the back body, and if you are, let the gaze come out over the toes. Really just isolate that stretch this morning into the leg. Let's really notice that. And then kind of pull that heel back maybe a little bit. Let's go ahead and just transition that into a low lunge. So square off the hips, square off the hips, bent into this right knee, right ankle directly over the right knee over the right ankle. You guys got it? And if it feels okay, plant through the left hand and just reach up with the right. Take a little twist here. Bring it back down. One more time. This time we're gonna lift with the hands. Lift with the hands, engage that core. If it doesn't feel good to lift with the hands, just keep them right on top of the thigh. Beautiful, everybody. Very nice. 2 options. Let's bring it on down. I'm gonna tuck through my right toe, or excuse me, my left toe, lift up with the left knee, and step on back into a downward facing dog. So come into down dog or table. You can come into table if that feels better. But first, downward facing dog in the morning, kind of shake the neck out a little bit, maybe walk it out. Shake the hips a little bit. Okay, so let's bring the knees back into table. Take a cycle of cat-cow, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze, breathe it in. Exhale, round. Once again, sink back, child's pose. Sink back into that child's pose. Let's take 3 breaths here. Get back into that mindfulness mode. Notice where the mind is. Notice where the breath is and where the body is. And just come back. In the words of Ram Dass, be here now. And let's go ahead. Let's make our way back into table. Hello, Petey. Back into table. And we're going to step out this time with the left foot. So stepping out with the left. Find a comfortable spot and bring those elbows down onto the earth. Let the head go. Lengthen through the inside of that left leg. And then walk it on up. Walk it on up. Roll on up. Nice, long, still nice string from the crown of the head, lifting us up. And then lift with that right arm. Lengthen through the right hand side of the body. Lengthen, 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 and let's bring the hand down. Lift up with the left hand. Nice side body stretch. Beautiful. Kind of roll it back on down. And let's go ahead. We're going to transition again. Kind of bring that left foot forward this time. Extend it on out. Woo! And lengthen. It's definitely not as graceful as some other ways of getting into this posture. Lengthen, let go. Again, just really lengthen through the back leg. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then let's bend into that left knee. Oh, square off through the hips. Bring the palms up, your choice. And bring them to the sky or right onto the thigh. Let the shoulders melt down, just breathe. And then bring the hands down, just plant that right hand. Lift up with the left. Lift up with the left. And bring it on down. I'm gonna tuck through the right toes, lift up with the right knee, and then make my way once again into downward facing dog. Just shake it out a little bit. Shake the hips out, shake the head out. P-Bear, well, hello, would you like to join? Okay, come on in. You can do some yoga. Nice work, Poppy. So from downward facing dog, let's go ahead and make our way up to the front of the mat. So just kind of tippy toe the hands all the way up to, or the tippy toe the fingers, feet up to the fingers. And just come into a forward fold. Come into a nice forward fold. Let the head go. Little bend into the knees, and let's rise all the way up. Lift the hands, lift the gaze, breathe in. And exhale, hands to heart center. Couple times, just like this. Let's lift, breathe it in. Exhale, forward fold. Palms to the shins, find some lift. Exhale, fold it out. Little bend into the knees, rise all the way up, breathe in. And exhale, palms to heart center. One more time, just like this. Inhale, breathe. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, breathe. Oh, bye, P-Bear. Exhale, fold it out. Little rise all the way up, push into the feet. Gaze up to the sky. Palms through to heart center. Let's add on just a little bit here, you guys. So inhale, we're gonna breathe. Gaze up towards the sky, exhale. Fold it on out. Palms to the shins, lengthen through the back of the legs. Exhale, fold, step back 1 foot at a time into down dog, and then bring the knees down onto the earth and melt all the way down onto the belly. All the way down onto the belly. Hello, Petey. And then just find a nice comfortable spot for the chin. And let's just shake that low back out a little bit. Just wiggle the hips back and forth. Just kind of shake, shake, shake it. And then lift up with the feet. And same thing, just back and forth with the feet. Back and forth with the feet. So I'm going to reach back with my hand just for my right foot. And you can use a strap if that's easier for you, but just get a nice pull in with that right foot. Just feel a nice stretch through the quadricep. Nice big stretch right there. Breathe into it. Soften on your exhale. Let's release that. Change sides. So reach back, opposite side. Nice stretch through the quadriceps. You can use a strap if that's easier, or even just keeping the foot lifted. For some of us is a really nice stretch through the quadricep. That's perfect too. Nice stretch. Let it go. Wiggle those hips back and forth again. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle the hips. If it feels good to reach back for both feet, this is an option for you. Both feet, pull the knees together. Envision the shoulder blades pulling together. Maybe kick a little bit. Feel a little lift coming through the heart. So flex into those feet, kick into the feet, lift. Bring it back on down. Bring it back on down. Shake it out a little bit. Shake it out. And then let's make our way into table. And back into downward facing dog. Shake it out. Shake the head. Shake it all out. And then a nice little gentle tippy toe up to the front of the mat again. Nice gentle tippy toe. And just arrive in a forward fold. You can grasp onto opposite elbows if that feels good. Let the head go. A little bend into the knees and push into the feet. Rise all the way up. And bring the hands to heart center. So, a little move that we were just doing with grasping onto the foot, let's transition that into a balanced pose this morning. So, totally optional. You can also do tree if that feels better for you. But for dancer pose, I'm gonna reach back for my right foot. So use a drishti, use that balancing point, or use the wall or a prop, anything that you'd like to hold on to. That's perfectly fine as well. But use your drishti, your gazing point. Lift up with the left hand and just kick into that right hand. See if you can still square off as much as you can through the hips. Kick, kick, kick. Very nice, you guys. Very nice indeed. And then bring it on down. Bring it on down, kind of walk it out a little bit. Everybody's dancers are looking beautiful this morning. Really, I think everybody's at one with Mother Earth. I love it. It's beautiful, you guys. All right, so let's transition the weight into the opposite foot. Reach back. Lift up to bring my pointer finger and thumb into a mudra. Gaze right there to whatever your drishti is this morning. Wherever your still point is. See if you can square the hips as much as possible. Woo! Just kick into that foot, finding that counterbalance. That's where you're gonna really get stability with this posture. So just kicking the foot into the hand as much as possible really will get you there. Just take a couple of breaths just right here in your mountain pose. Samastitahi, just breathe. Maybe close the eyes. Feel the soles of the feet lift up. Just envision the standing body right now. Feel the breath move through you. Feeling grounded. Beautiful. Blink the eyes open. Let's go ahead. We are going to make our way into our pigeon poses this morning. So optional, I'll flow with us into the classical Pete Peter pigeon, Or the other option is the reclined pigeon if the regular doesn't feel good. So let's begin with the classical pigeon. And if you have a prop nearby, that's always nice to have. Let's see here. Have my props handy right here. So just breathe. I'm going to transition through a sun salutation. So inhale, lift the palms, lift the gaze, breathe it in. Exhale, forward fold. Palms to the shins, find some length. Exhale, plant the palms. I'm going to step back into downward facing dog. Maybe just wiggle your dog out a little bit. Lift up with the right leg. And bring that right knee up towards the right wrist. Square off with the hips. I'm going to let my right foot kind of creep forward a little bit and scooch back with my left leg. So if you have a little lift through the hips, sometimes it's nice to have a prop right there. This is a way you can use it. And you can also use a blanket in front if that feels good. So just a couple of ways to make this feel more comfortable. And again, if this is not comfortable, the other way that you can do pigeon, you get a very similar feel. It's just on the back body, just crossing that right foot over the top of the left thigh and reaching through and grasping onto the back of the left thigh. So your options this morning. Go ahead and join everybody. Just breathe wherever you're at. So this is a really nice posture that you can do every day if it's something that is enjoyable to you. It's a nice posture to kind of really get into the body and breathe. Even if you just have a few minutes, just kind of cultivate that sense of mindfulness. Just breathe. And then let's go ahead and plant the palms. Plant the palms, tuck through that left toe, lift up with the left knee. Ooh, get a nice stretch right there through that hip. And then lift up with the right foot. I'm gonna stack it. Bend through that right knee, stack the right hip, maybe a circle. And then change sides. So same thing. Lift up with the left foot this time. Bring that left knee up towards the left wrist. Scooch back with that right hip. I'm going to kind of crawl my foot up just a little bit here. But you want to really be nice and square through the hips. That's the key. So if you find yourself collapsing, not the way we want to go. We want the hips to stay square here. And then go ahead and just fold forward. Just let go. And again, if you'd prefer to be on the back body here, that is completely okay. You can take that nice figure 4 position from the back body. Just take a few cycles of breath. And then tuck through that right toe, lift up with the right knee, plant the hands, lift up with the body, and send that left foot back and up, stack it, maybe roll it a couple of times. And down dog, just shake it out, shake the neck out. And bring the knees down onto the mat. And just kind of roll up, and we're going to begin to make our way towards the back body. So before we go to the back body though, I know not everybody has a strap this morning. Maybe you do, but I don't know if everybody does. But I just wanted to remind you guys of that favorite pose that everybody had that we haven't done this whole time that we've been Zooming, but where you connect the strap and you make a nice big loop with it. You guys remember where I'm going with this? So the strap gets a nice big loop. We want to make sure that the buckle is not towards the head. We want it to be off to the side, and we definitely want the strap to be tight. That's going to be the kind of the key here. And then this is where we go. Remember, we bring the strap to the back of the head. Definitely different with the earmuffs on. And kind of tuck the strap just right above the ears. So you want it to be really cradling the head as much as possible. And come into that, I had nicknamed it the hammock pose. So, just like so. So I just wanted to kind of remind you guys of this posture. Not necessarily something that we have to do this morning, but something that you can do to lengthen out through the legs, and that you can kind of do on your own time if you want to. It's just a really great posture and really, really relaxing. So just something to remember that that's an option. The key is a somewhat long strap, and you just want to make sure you can use whatever you want. You could use a tie for this if it's long enough, or a couple of them. You just want to make sure that the buckle is not on the head so it's not uncomfortable. So if you have that and you're doing that, just give both sides a little try this morning. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of revisit that and remind everybody how fun that posture is. So I think the key is just make sure that your strap is completely locked into place. It's not going to slip at all, because that doesn't make it fun either. You need the weight of that head to kind of pull through the legs. So just a fun option to show. So our final posture this morning, just making our way into our Savasana. When you're ready, take as much time as you'd like with the strap. You can spend all morning on that. You can spend your Savasana in that hammock pose if you'd like to. But just maybe take a couple of moments just for whatever additional posture the body might be craving this morning, anything at all. Go ahead and enjoy it. And then when you're ready, just extend the legs out. Let go. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Let the eyes soften. Just take a nice big deep breath in. Really soften into the mat, and then just let the breath go. Let yourself completely be in this place of stillness. Just stay here for several minutes. And just remember to stay mindful. Come back to your breath. When you find the mind beginning to wander or chaotic or anger, anything at all, any strong emotion, no matter what it is, just staying mindful, just being present, coming back to the breath. And letting go. I will leave you here in Savasana this morning. So just stay here and take several breaths. Take several minutes if you can. Just enjoy this beautiful day, this beautiful week. Namaste.